If you're broke, it's on you. That's what most people say.
That's a mindset.
Sure, we can
bro.
say systemically certain areas. For the most part, it's like there's so much opportunity that most people, they're just too lazy to take the risk. Awesome. So then you had So now I wanted to use that to transition that into mental health, because how were you able to balance that? Because before, when you were already fighting when you first met her.
Yeah.
Correct. And then during that time, then you guys had split up. It was, I guess it was like right around quarantine, before quarantine when you guys split up. Yeah, because she texted you during quarantine.
She texted me right when quarantine started.
Right, and then you went pro.
Yeah.
So, how was did that like kind of, because you had been training already? You had been fighting
I was already fighting.
So then, what happened there? Because did it change anything? Did it?
Because I had explained to her, like, hey, I know we're gonna keep talking, but this is first.
This is what I do.
Fighting's coming first, and she was understanding to it. When we first started talking, though, we didn't start talking like we were gonna start dating. It was more so of, okay, we're gonna just hang out, have fun, because she was about to move to Puerto Rico. Yeah, she was gonna move in like a couple months to Puerto Rico, and she's like, I'm not doing a long distance thing.
So why didn't she move?
She did move. She was over there for a year.
Is this the situation that you didn't want to explain that?
No, this was after. This was when we got back together.
And then she moved.
Wait, this was like right. Oh, so
yeah. She was living there for a year.
Oh, and then she came back, and then you guys started talking again.
No, I flew.
You just said you didn't want to do long distance, so you did do long distance.
Yeah, we did. I did.
What? But you said no. So what happened?
So people understand is she went. We started talking again. Rekindled everything. Right. And she was gonna move to Puerto Rico to take over her dad's business.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh no, and we both agreed to it. Like, it's not gonna work. You know what? She was understanding. Like, look, this is what I'm gonna do over there. Like, you know, it's gonna be hard to have a relationship like that. I'm like, yeah, I understand. You know, you're gonna be fighting, and I was like, I can't, go over there. We started hanging out so much that we were like, let's make it work. I got to a point. I literally made an American Airlines account. I was like, I'm gonna fly there every weekend pretty much. And I would train Saturdays at 12, would catch a flight at about 3-4 o'clock, would be there Saturday. It's a 2.5-hour flight. I would get there Saturday night, like evening, would be there all day Sunday, would get back to Miami like at Monday at 7 a.m. and go straight to practice.
How often did you do this?
She hates it. I said,
fucking nuts.
Yeah, I did this for $8,000 worth of flights. That's the best way to put it. In a year.
In a year. So you would do multiple trips a month.
Yeah.
How much was the average ticket?
$200, $300. And during quarantine though, there was some that were like $60, $40.
Yeah.
True.
And I also did my little plan. If anybody wants to take this little tip from me, I would complain to American Airlines a lot about certain situations, and they'd give me miles, and then I would pay with my miles.
Yeah, scamming American Airlines.
Well, they scam us. It's time.
Hey, I was giving them money, man.
We revolt. Okay,
man. So you
Jesus Christ,
you made it work.
Yeah,
and like not even like a different state. I mean, it's still part of the U.S., but it's like it's a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
If it were further, would you still have done it?
Yeah.
Really?
Because 2.5 hours. Yeah. So you would have done. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's a good amount of.
It is, but it's not crazy.
It's not
either.
like out of this world.
But if it would have been like California or something we can relate to it. Because California, not only is it, what is it, like a 5-6 hour flight, but then you have the 3 hour time change. and shit. Yeah. So like that, 5-6 hours, like you wake up and they're still sleeping.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that would have been probably more difficult.
Yeah. No, but I feel like sounds like you still would have done it.
100%.
So you did the long distance. Did you know this was just temporary? Because now she's back in Miami, right?
Yeah, she's back in Miami.
When you entered this long distance, when you said, okay, this is what I want to do.
It's only for a year.
Did you know that there was an ending to it?
Or was it indefinite?
It wasn't, at the time, it wasn't just for a year. It was, she was going to be there for a very long time.
And you said, you know what, I'm still going to pursue this.
I was looking, I had found an MMA gym over there, made friends with them. They had me finding a way to how to make money by training these rich people that lived on the island.
Right.
Became friend with them. I was teaching sometimes at the MMA gym. I was training over there.
When? Only on the weekend? Or you would then create?
No, I would create a longer... Once I found the MMA gym, I would create like a week trip. Oh. And I would train out there with some of the fighters. Okay, and then now I was getting my training in. It wasn't going unnoticed.
Damn, so you really like committed, you know? Like you went
I went over there with I was like, okay, if she's over here, I got to find my thing too. I got to find a way to make money. I got to find a way to keep training to fight. And I'd made it work pretty much.
But you also had the flexibility to do so, because if you were a cop, you probably wouldn't have had the same amount of time to commit to that.
100%.
See how that works.
You like that?
Yeah. I had the freedom. I had the freedom because of fighting.
Wow.
What a story. If he really wanted to, he would.
Yep.
Moral of the story.
Right.
And if she really wanted to, she would.
Yeah, that's why I don't believe that so much. Like, it's because I don't like what you said. Like, I don't believe that the opposite of that. If he wanted to, he would. If she wanted to, she would.
You don't? You do believe?
I do believe that. I don't believe the opposite of that is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So do you subscribe to the idea that there's the right person, wrong time? Or do you feel like if it's the right person, the timing will always be right?
Yes.
So the right person will supersede everything else.
Yeah.
But you had just
You'll make
said
it work.
that the first time
it didn't, but guess what? Exactly. At the same time, it drew us back.
And you guys ended in a way that left things intact. Because if there would have been some worse fallout, cheating, infidelity, or whatever the case may have been, if it would have been worse, that may have chipped away from the relationship to the point where you wouldn't have been found yourself way back, or where you say, you know what, I'm not willing to do the long distance relationship because I don't trust this person. But you didn't have that issue.
I didn't. I always trust her.
So that is important. That is key too.
Yeah,
because
trust is big. Trust is big.
No, it's vital. It's more important so when you're in a long distance relationship.
Yeah. Trust can make you insecure. Trust can make you disrespectful. Trust can make you, if you don't trust, it can make you do it can bring out the worst side of you.
Oh, it's toxic, man. That's super unhealthy.
Yeah.
Because then you try to like grasp control of the situation when you don't trust.
Exactly.
Because if I can't trust in you what you're doing, well, I'm gonna make sure that I know you're telling me the truth.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna make sure that either, all right, put your location on. All right, call me. All right, who else is with you? All right, give me their number. All right, I'm gonna check their story. Like now you're like
now you're
invasive.
And it's
all because you don't like. Why even be with this person?
Yeah.
If you want to live your life,
100%.
Wow. So how long has she been back in Miami?
I'm gonna say about 7 months.
Okay, cool. How's the relationship now? Because some people say long distance relationship, it actually might be better for some people because now you're like, oh, I'm excited to see this person.
Yeah. It was almost like when she came back, she's like, okay, I'm excited to get back. Like, she was not happy about coming back, and neither was I, because I loved Puerto Rico. It was a way to, I'll be honest.
Every week you got a vacation, son.
Not only that, but it was escaping Miami. Miami is so materialistic, and there's so many, like, I'm so big on, like, the respect and people being nice. And in Puerto Rico, everybody's friendly. Over here, everybody's rude as shit.
Inconsiderate.
Yeah. Like a facade over here. Everybody just wants to compete with one another.
It's a bunch of fake people, and the people who say, oh, it's so fake over here, you're part of the culture too. Like,
true.
It starts to rub off on us.
All right. So, but okay, so she came. You were not excited, but ultimately you said.
Yeah, and I was not, but I was at the same time. I was like, damn, I have my girlfriend now. I can go to these parties with her now. I don't have to not go to this because she's not coming. I don't feel, I don't want to go because I'm not going to be with my girl. I'm not going to be that weird guy there by himself.
Really? But when she was over there, did you hold back from doing things because?
No, I would still go out. No, she would tell me. She's like, dude, go out. What are you doing?
You just didn't want to.
I just didn't feel motivated.
Like for what?
What about her?
What?
Like, would she go out like that?
Yeah, she would try to get friends over there. She would go out. She would explore the island, and I would tell her, I was like, do this. At first, I was like, yo, be careful. Like, you don't know these people. But then I was like, she explained something to me that then I started to understand. She's like, dude, I have no friends here. I need to get friends. Like, I just need to socialize. So she would go to gyms and then meet these girls, and then she started playing beach volleyball with girls over there, started getting her friends here and there. So that was good. She started exploring the island. She loved it.
You guys still go back?
We went back about 3 weeks ago. We were there for 4 days.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a nostalgic feeling because we definitely missed it.
Man, so I feel like that probably strengthened your relationship as a whole. You know, that long distance.
Yeah, I mean, when she came back, it was almost like we were dating again because she was here the whole time.
Yeah, it's refreshing.
Yeah, but it definitely created some problems, but then we got over it, and then now we're doing good now. Yeah.
Do you guys live together?
No and yeah.
What?
Because I live in my house and she has hers, but I like sleep over.
Right. Those things.
Like
so you guys are always
Okay.
together. I wanted to ask you, what are the biggest challenges that you guys currently have now as a couple after all the time together, the separate? What are now things? Because it seems that you guys have been together for so long that you guys know each other so well, that you guys have kind of know patterns, have overcome certain things. You had talked about communication.
Yeah.
So what are things right now that are still kind of playing a factor? And everyone could be dealing with it, or maybe something similar. Just to see, like, after all this time, what could still be like little things. What are things that you guys still like deal with? Overcome?
I think it's more so on the and it could be for other couples too. And I know it's for other couples. It's you're overcoming the past. Whether it's a past relationship and not letting it hinder into your current relationship emotionally.
But you guys are still like you guys,
like
because you guys are your exes.
Yeah, that's true. Like previous people that you dated, and
because the year we weren't together, we both dated different people.
Oh, that's right.
So you're saying that in that time things have happened that could create traumas to your relationship now that you have?
No, for the other person. The other person could probably be overcoming. Not saying that that's what she's going through right now.
Okay, I see that.
What did she did? Was she in another relationship after you guys broke up? Or?
Yeah,
She did.
How long was it?
And you
for?
had dated her on too, right?
Yeah.
She was
don't
like,
say it like that. I didn't date around.
No,
Date
but you
around.
no, but you did.
This
No, but
guy's
you weren't.
like,
You didn't say
you were out here slinging dick,
No,
weren't you too?
I
Right?
didn't say that.
Same thing.
I didn't say that.
No, that's kind of how it's like. Hey, you were over here just giving out wiener.
Gus is a respectable gentleman.
Thanks.
And he is a great man. So did you stay single?
No.
Thank you.
Kind of. There was months I was single, and then months I was with someone. Months I was single. Months I was with somebody.
Somebody else.
It was just
Yeah.
1 year.
Yeah.
though.
So he was there. Yeah, you dated around.
dated
Yeah, I
around.
did.
You
I
didn't
Slinging
stay locked
dick.
in your room slinging dick.
He was slinging dick. Damn it, okay, so she was dating somebody. You were dating. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a year. It's not that long though.
it's not.
But you guys are good now,
Yeah,
right?
you guys are in a good place.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing now is that we're literally best friends.
That's awesome.
Like,
That's nice.
we're always laughing. Like, I honestly think she's a freaking comedian. I hate to say it because she's like, "Oh, I'm funnier than you." I'm like, "No, fuck, you're not." But she is. She is, man. She's so fucking funny, and it pisses me off sometimes because she'll say a joke and I'm like, "Fuck, that was good."
That
You're
was
like,
good.
I can't
Yeah,
let
but
her
who cares? I would be like, all right, let me write it down next time with my boys. Guys, guess what?
Oh, I do that so much, but she does it too, and
Of
she'll
course.
repeat the joke. She'll repeat it in like a joke or something I'll say in front of like her family, and I'm like, I said that the other day. Fucking sneaky ass.
So what's next for you guys? I mean, you guys been together for a little bit, good amount. So is there anything future talks or where you guys are right now?
No, it's just we're really big on our careers and passions right now. She has an amazing food blog that she does.
Oh,
on
what is
Instagram.
it?
Shout her out.
It's called Comiendo con Casi.
We'll
Follow it, guys.
Con
It is
Casi.
literally
On Instagram?
on Instagram.
We'll put it in the description.
Yeah, I want to look. I want to follow.
Yeah,
her.
it's called Comiendo con Casi. It's she goes through all of the restaurants in Miami, tries them, goes to them. Restaurants ask her to come through and see them. She gives you behind the
That's
scenes on it.
awesome.
All the best restaurants in Miami, Kendall, Brickell, Doral. Anytime you
Hialeah?
need, not Hialeah
Okay, she gotta
Yet.
yet.
She gotta go and get
Yes.
into Hialeah.
She started this actually in Puerto Rico, and she was doing all of Puerto Rico.
Dope.
And then when she came here, she started here, and it's just been blowing up and taking off. She's getting invited to events. I love it because I get to eat for free now.
But isn't it hard for you because you're training a lot? You a lot of heavy diets and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's when you're in camp.
When I'm in camp, but I'm blessed, and thank you, Lord, for making me this way. Where I don't walk around too heavy.
You're fucking.
And
machine,
I also train every day like 6 hours.
You fight at what, flyweight?
Flyweight,
125. So what do you walk at?
Like 136, 137.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, when I'm training, that's what I walk around at. When I'm not training, I walk around like 140.
Okay, that's not bad at all.
Not bad, right?
Yeah,
it's not bad at all. That's easy.
Easy peasy.
You can cut more if you wanted to.
No, I tried.
You really can't. Oh, you're like
How tall are you?
5'5",
How tall is your girlfriend?
like 5'5", 5'4".
She's taller than you?
She wears heels.
She's
She's
taller
than me.
How does that feel? How do you feel about that?
Just wear boots. Just wear boots.
Not gonna lie, when I wear Chelsea boots though, we're the same.
There you go.
And I feel like the man. I'm like, man, I should be riding a horse right now.
Have you ever felt? Has that ever hindered you? Because I mean, you're a short guy. I mean, I'm short too.
Nah, I'm a confident dude, bro.
Right.
I don't care at all.
It reminds me of this. Who's his name? Tim, the new Spider-Man, Tom
Holland.
And his girl
Zendaya.
Zendaya. She's 2 inches tall. She's 5'10". He's 5'8".
But it's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's Spider-Man though.
Yeah.
But true. I would have the fucking balls of steel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they asked him. It's funny because I watched it yesterday. They had an interview and they're like, hey, "How do you feel about you guys dating?" And there's this in our society, short guys, that kind of get like the short end of the stick, literally.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, and it's like, how do you guys feel about that? And they were like, man, like it's not a big deal. Like, why would be? Why would you feel that? Self-conscious. Like, if you're with this person and you feel genuinely about them. So what does height have to do with anything?
Yeah,
and so
I think that's interesting. And my girl will say sometimes she'll have she
makes jokes.
I don't want to wear heels because then I'm gonna be towering over you. I'm like, I don't give a shit,
baby. I'm gonna climb that building then.
And like she'll wear wedges or heels, and sometimes she won't be. She'll be the same exact height. When I wear sneakers, I'll be taller.
Yeah.
But
who gives
we
a
go
fuck?
to a wedding and she's like, bro, she'll be this much taller than me. It doesn't
matter.
She's not a freaking WNBA player.
Yeah.
It's completely different. I'm holding her hand like this.
No, but what about like when you were in high school or maybe growing up? Were you always like the shorter one of your friends or something? Or
yeah,
you really were.
Especially my best friends are all basketball players.
And you never had like some sort of insecurity maybe when you were younger? Because I mean, you're a confident guy, but maybe when you were younger, did that ever play a part?
In middle school, in middle school, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was bullied on it.
Have girls turned you? I was gonna say have guys turned you down.
I mean,
hey, baby.
I haven't tried that, haven't you? I'll let you know when I cross that road.
Cool. Have girls like turned you down, like hey, because you were maybe too short or something like that?
I get this in my DM. I've gotten this so much in my DMs.
No way.
And it's like unsolicited fucking opinions or comments.
Really?
I didn't ask for this. I'll get a girl be like, bro, if you were taller, oh my god, you'd be so fine. I'm like,
I've had that.
Maybe if you were not fat, I would reply. Like what?
True.
Like what? Like what's the point of saying that? Like,
you know what? I'm so happy you brought that up because it's almost like men can take on all the insults of, oh well, he's short or his dick's small, or I'm not speaking from personal preference. I'm just saying. But then we call a woman fat for being fat. And we're assholes.
Exactly.
And it's like we can't do anything about our height or, what we're gifted with. But you could do something about
or cursed with.
Yeah, or cursed with. But you could do something about that your how much you weigh. Yeah. I think it's kind of a double standard, dude.
100%. 100%.
Man get bashed so much for it.
You should just do that. And the next time someone's like, if only you were short, just be like, you're fat. Period.
Literally. Screenshot one of your pictures and send it to them.
Yeah, man. It's funny because the same thing. Like I had one girl once like, oh, I only date guys that are like above 6 feet or whatever the fuck. And it's like, okay, cool. Like,
and that to me is so crazy that girls try to do the pick and choose.
And then they're like 5'2". Like, dude, you look fucking
And I
short.
said this. There's girls that they won't be with a guy because he has one thing wrong that they don't like. But then over time, and then they'll marry that guy who has all of these other things because they settled. Yeah. You didn't want that guy because he had that one thing you didn't like, but now you're settling with that guy who has like 7 or 8 things.
Yeah. It's a shame, dude.
It's a shame because girls wait too long or they settle. A lot of girls settle, man, and I see it.
Yeah.
Do you think they settle because they feel like, man, like I'm running out of time? Like I need
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's the time. Like they run out of time. They're like, oh man, I'm getting old. I gotta get married. I gotta have a kid. Like,
true. Once they're in their 30s.
Yeah.
I have
you just pick them up.
A bit of a split opinion on that because a part of me says, you should enjoy your youth. You should enjoy the time that you have. But then don't enjoy it so much then now you're in your 30s wondering why no one wants to date you. And this is both for men and women.
Yeah, 100%.
You are living this life now when this is literally the best times to build a family, to procreate, to raise. I mean, now with times of, we have no money, all that stuff, but this is when we're at our healthiest, essentially, if you think about it.
Sure.
Back then, this was a time. I mean, I have an older brother. My mom had him when she was 15 years old in Cuba. Extra young. But during your 20s, that's like when you raise a family. The husband goes out, 20, whatever. But then you get into your 30s because now women start having complications after what, 35?
32, it goes up a little bit. 33,
so then you
34.
think about it. Yeah, you had all this time to find the right person, but you chose not to. And again, it applies to everybody. So it's those things that you start getting desperate at the end. Well, now I'll just land on anything. Yeah. So you kind of have to be very careful and be smart of the years that matter. And now kind of align yourself with the right people to date the right people.
Yeah.
Because if now you get stuck like this lady who's like now with the one guy 100%. With all these problems 100%. When you had something probably a little bit better.
That's true. What do you feel about that? I've seen it on social media where a lot of people say, well, as men get older, their value increases because they become financially secure and stuff like that, etc. But as women get older, their value decreases. Do you believe that? What do you think about that?
In some cases, yes.
Because do we value women based off of their youth, based on the attraction?
No, I think that's a typical answer for someone who only wants to see it at face value. So if that person that you're asking believes in, because a man's the one that works and a woman's there to help build the family. So now you're saying that her only value is being at home with the kids, and that's her only purpose.
Right.
So as she gets older, she's still going to be the mother, but she doesn't have anything else to add on to you. While you're maybe bringing in more money, you got a promotion, all this stuff. Your value is obviously going to go up, but now she's just
an older
woman. An older
housewife.
Woman. You know what I mean?
But
so
to
what
me,
value does she have for herself?
Being and shout out to all, being a mother, a home taker, a caregiver. To me, that holds more value than the man who's going and working and earning money.
True, I agree. I'm so sorry, because the thing is, if you only put that attention on the woman as she's a great mother, then the problem is for someone with that mentality, when the man keeps on gaining value, he's gonna say, well, now I'm 40, now I'm 50. Well, I want a younger woman now because her value is only as a woman. That's all she is because she doesn't have anything else 100%. Other than she raised my kids. Okay, I get that's a huge deal. I understand that, but outside of that, it's like, but that's it. What are you doing for yourself? The man, he's there trying to build, gaining more value, but the woman, now she's getting cheapened. You don't see it like that?
I can see how you might think that.
I think someone with that mentality
I
get
where you're coming from.
Because I would want the woman to also continue building and gaining her value, but not if the man doesn't believe a woman can build her own value.
Yeah.
So with that mentality, you said, do you think men, they gain, but as they get older, women lose? Yeah. It's only with someone with that mentality who doesn't want the woman to gain their value.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't they?
No, I get where you're coming from. I mean, that's kind of like that idea that a lot of people say that believe that, okay, like a woman will just, lose value as she gets older. But I don't think necessarily that's the way it has to be.
No, of course not.
Yeah. Interesting discussion. I like that.
I wanted to get into now because I know you're very avid on mental health.
Yeah,
and you do want to get into, you will have your nonprofit you want to start next year. And we really want to bring you on because next year I really wanted to start exploiting mental health because it's outside. Yeah, we talk about relationships, but we always say it starts with you, starts with the person. And if you aren't good, how can you be a good partner for somebody else? And a lot of it starts with your own mental health. So what, you have anything?
No, you said exploiting. I don't know if exploiting would have been the right word for it.
You don't think so? Because the thing is because nobody really likes to talk about it. True. So it's like we want to shed light on it. We want to bring that up. We want to actually talk about the elephant in the room. It's like, maybe it's not your partner. It's the fact that you aren't being, you're not taking care of yourself. So you talking about mental health and now you want to do this. What made you want to get more into this space and kind of exploiting? Talk about it.
You made him insecure about the word.
Yeah, he did.
He's gonna Google it.
It is because guys don't want. I was talking to Drew about it this morning, and we were talking about you and why you were gonna come on and your mission and stuff. And it's like, if only men were more comfortable. It's not a secret. Why are we now trying to make it a secret? Talk about it.
I'm gonna dive exactly into that. So for me, the reason I'm getting into it was definitely after my first professional loss was when I started to feel a way that I've never felt, because my girlfriend was in Puerto Rico, after my fight, she has to go back. So that's when reality hits where I'm by myself. You know, I have my team is celebrating their wins. You know, everybody goes on with their life, but then now I'm just here with the hindering loss. My face all beat up, my nose is broken, and I'm just by myself in my thoughts. And I started to feel a certain way. I'd wake up in the morning and I'm like, why do I feel like not doing anything? Why do I feel like I'm not enough? What the hell is this feeling? Like, I'm like, I've never felt this way before, ever. I'd be on Google searching things and I was like, what the hell is, I'd be sad. I'd be in my car and I'd just break down. I'd be driving and just break down. And I'm like, what the hell is going on with me? And it got to a point where I would tell my mom, like, I'm not okay. There's something going on with me. And as time went on, I would just like research, look at YouTube videos. I would go to church and I was like, oh, it's 100%. It's just mentally I'm not okay right now. Either I'm going through very high anxiety or I just have major depression right now because of my fight. So I would see that there's nothing for men. I couldn't find anything. As time went on, I told myself, I was like, you know what? I've been wanting to start some type of nonprofit, whether it was for children or homeless. And I felt like this one was just calling me. I was like, man, I need to do something for men's mental health. Just men. And the reason why I say just men is not because I'm saying that women don't go through stuff either. I think sometimes women go through more because of pregnancies, and that postpartum depression is serious. The only reason I say just men's for this men's mental health group that I'm going to start is because men are scared to be vulnerable in front of women.
They're not supposed to be.
They're not supposed to be. Our egos are so big. I don't care what any of you say. Our egos are too big sometimes to cry in front of our girls, to show weakness. Like, we have to be that strong, stiff man, you know? So I wanted to make this nonprofit for just men. It's going to be December 28th from 7 to 9 p.m. at Vignettes. We're going to have an amazing woman there. Her name's Christy Navarro. She's healing from child trauma is what her thing is. I think that's a big thing too, is trauma, period, can hinder in your life, where it just causes slow depression over the years, whether it's relationship trauma, child trauma, any type of trauma, period. It'll hinder on later in life. So she's going to be part of it. I'm hoping you two guys can be part of it. I'm obviously going to be part of it. I'm just going to share my story, what helps me every day. Not saying I've overcome mental health. I struggle with it all the time. Yeah. Everybody's you're never going to wake up one day to the next and then it's gone. Sadly, it's not how it works.
Or you think it does, but then it comes back as a wave a couple minutes later, like,
exactly.
I thought it was
exactly. So for me, it's definitely something I'm looking forward to. I'm so happy with it. It's driving me a lot, is this whole mental health movement. I hope I can impact somebody's life that day and make them feel better and realize, like, we go through this. It's normal, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're really big on this podcast of relationships, obviously. Yeah. But we're always saying how it starts with you as a person, and what we had just talked about. And it's not so much that men are afraid. It's just that they were raised not to. They were, just like you said, exactly. They're the war-hardened, people of the family, that they have to be their support. The woman is there with the family. You're out, taking abuse.
I grew up, I don't know about you guys, but I never saw my dad cry.
Yeah, no, never.
I've never seen.
That doesn't talk about his feelings.
That
doesn't talk, I've tried.
I've never seen my dad cry ever. So, like, me as a man, like, am I not supposed to cry? Like,
and now understanding it, I reflect and think, just imagine what he's going through. Just imagine what's in his head that he doesn't want to talk about.
Exactly. I think about that all the time, man.
And how many other men in this world are living the same way? Because there's certain things that's like, oh, a man shouldn't do that, or a man shouldn't do that. So certain things it's like, but why? Because we've just accepted that men should be a certain way.
Yeah.
Or women should be a certain way. And I think if we could just come collectively as human beings, as souls, for that purpose, then we can slowly start accepting everyone for whatever flaws or successes they have. So it's beautiful that you want to get into that, because, we talk to a lot of people, and I'm sure you've suffered with some mental health issues as well. 100%. I know I have. Me, I battle with work. I'm not the happiest on my job. So every day it's that constant battle of like, I need to be here and I have to, come with a good attitude. But then you go home and then you see how that affects the rest of your family or your friends. So there's been times that I've left work and I've come here to record and I was unbearable. Shit, I was unbearable. Like, and he could read it. The guest would be able to read it.
The energy, just kind of feeling it. It's like, man, like, should we even do this? So it sips through your everyday life.
Yeah, so it's important, and I'm glad. So the goal that I think you're trying to do, I think, is a goal that we are trying to accomplish as well, and it's pretty much just having open conversations where everyone can be comfortable with whatever they're going through. Because a man can say, no, I can't talk about it because then my boys are gonna think I'm weak, or my girl's gonna think I'm weak. And it's like, I bet you if you spoke up, your boy would probably be like, me too, dog.
Yeah, and it's crazy because one of my best friends, I'm not gonna say his name, but one of my best friends who out of our group was the one that showed the least emotion, literally the least. He has opened up to me and just cried on the phone. We've cried on the phone together, like talking in the past couple months more than ever. And it shows like, yo, people go through shit.
But do you also think it's because, have you taken the step to be more vulnerable now in the approach? Have you been more, like when you talk to someone about that, are you more comfortable opening up yourself? Because think about it, people, they don't want to open up unless
I think I asked the questions that'll open them up to be more vulnerable.
And that's what's important. Because people, they think we're not supposed to talk about this.
Exactly.
Because it's taboo.
Exactly.
It's like, no. That's the reason why you're going through it, because you don't have anyone to talk to. You don't know where to go. And therapy's for chumps. No, therapy's for crazy people. It's only when you're at your worst. Wrong. Therapy is for everybody at any stage of their life. But if you don't even have anyone to talk to now, what makes me think that you're going to be comfortable to go to a therapist? You're just going to think you're a psychopath.
Exactly.
No, dude, it's important. You coming from
super important. Even you have to be that friend. And now I am so much more where when I talk to my friends and I ask them how they're doing, I ask them important questions. How are you really feeling? How's everything with your partner, with yourself, with your family? Back then, when we were younger, we wouldn't ask those questions. When did you ask your friend, how are you really feeling?
And if they said, "Oh, I'm a little sad," you're a bitch.
Yeah. Or you say, "Oh, I'm fine."
Being a pussy.
Yeah. Exactly. So now I'm that friend that will ask the tough questions, that will open up the floor to have these discussions and this dialogue. And I know you are too. And so it's important to be that person. Most men still aren't there yet. We have every day we have people say, "Man, like." You guys are doing an amazing job with the podcast, and this is what I always hear. Oh, for two guys to be open like that, it's a rare sight. It's a rare sight. That's all I hear. Why is it a rare sight?
Because should it have to be?
Yeah, exactly. So, statistically speaking, men are at such a higher risk of suicide than women. Why? 100%. Because they don't talk about it. And then you guys made a great point back then. Our fathers, their fathers. They were working 18-hour days. They didn't have time to have feelings, right? But they were building that up, and then they were alcoholics, and they were fucking, hated their life. Why? Because they didn't have that outlet.
Angry old men.
Angry old men.
Full
of regret and a heart full of hatred and disappointment. And it's not even their fault because they never had that outlet. They didn't have anybody telling them you can be vulnerable, you can be open. I wasn't raised with my dad. I was raised with my mom primarily. I have 6 sisters, so a lot of I'm very in touch with my feelings.
Yeah,
and who I am.
It's
and
feminine side.
Yeah, I'm comfortable being vulnerable.
Yeah,
because I'm so confident.
I'm the same way, but with my girlfriend.
Oh, 100% that too.
I'm not like that with anybody else, and that's it's a flaw. But I'm trying to work on that.
Good.
I'm trying to be better because there's times like, for example, my girlfriend came to the gym I train at Goat Shed, and they saw how I was talking to her, and I was being nice and loving with her, and they were like, "Gus is nice," but it's because you have to put that persona. I'm a professional fighter.
So what?
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to overcome. Is trying to show men. I'm a professional fighter. I fight people in a cage for a living.
And I still love my girl.
And I'm going to be vulnerable, and I'm going to continue to be it. I want to talk about it. If I can do it, you can do it. Like, I can't think of anything manlier than fighting someone in a cage.
Oh, I was gonna say, but you want to know?
I can think of something more manly as being open and having that discussion, telling, "Hey, I'm hurt, I'm vulnerable."
And if you can do that at the same time, then you're literally a man.
But you have that because I'm sorry.
No.
You have to have that switch where when you walk into the cage, I'm gonna beat this guy's ass. I'm gonna go fight. I'm gonna go all in.
Exactly.
But then when I get out of here, I can tell my girlfriend, hey, listen, like I'm not feeling too good today. Or my trainer, hey, I'm hurt. This and this. So you have to have that flip. You know what? That switch.
Because one thing I don't. Sorry.
No. Go.
Is there'll be time, and I'm trying not to do this. Is there'll be times my girl will be like, hey, come over. I'm gonna make some dinner. I'll be like, no, I'll make up an excuse. I have training, and it's not that. I just don't feel right in the head. I don't feel okay. And instead of me being around her and showing that, I'd rather just do something else. And that just hinders and makes situations worse. And one thing I want to tell people is don't do that.
Right.
Be around people. When you don't feel okay, be around someone. Talk to them. Talk it out. Let them voice their opinions. Let them voice their feelings to you. Or just be a listening ear. Talking makes you feel 4 times better.
And even if you don't, at least communicate and explain why you're not.
Exactly.
Let's say your girl's like, hey, come over for dinner, and you're like, listen, babe, I love you, but I got a lot on my head right now. I just want to kind of chill out today. Tomorrow I'll see you, or let's talk a little bit. Exactly. Maybe because then on her side, she'll say, well, why don't you want to see me? Mm-hmm. But that's when your job as her partner is to secure her to know that, hey, this is a me thing. But she's not going to understand that if you never have those conversations because she thinks you're always perfect. Yeah. Because that's who Gus is supposed to be, the fighter. Yep. But Gus isn't a fighter. Gus is a boyfriend. He's a son. He's a hardworking man. He's a business owner. Not just a fighter. Yeah. So just because you have to have this aggression in the cage doesn't mean that translates everywhere else. Because you can't be aggressive with your girl. Yeah. But you're a fighter, Gus. No, you're not just a fighter. Look at everything else you are. Yeah, 100%. And just like you're not just a podcaster, you're a writer, you're a boyfriend, you're your own entrepreneur. You know, you have so much more. You have to remember who you are as people, and you're not just supposed to be a certain way. Yeah. You just have to be who you are. Identify that, and then be comfortable and vulnerable. That way, people can see who you really are, not just a fighter.
Yeah, 100%. And when you, as a partner, when you let's say you were telling your girlfriend that it's her job to say, you know what, take the time. I give you your for them to give you your space, and then you can revisit that discussion on the next day, which is why he was saying you have to be open, you have to communicate. Listen, I'm not really good in my, I don't have the best headspace right now. I need a day or two, whatever, and we'll communicate. And I right now I just don't feel up for having that company. But you have to have that dialogue, and it's baby steps because maybe you don't know because maybe then you do go and you do talk to her and you're like, man, I felt great, or you do go and then you're like, oh man, I'm so stressed out. Like I should have just stayed home. Be like, hey babe, like, hey, I'm gonna go home. But at least like you did try, but you're having that conversation. You're always. I like to say it as over communicate. Yeah, because the more that they know what's going on at all times, the less they have to wonder what's happening when you're not there. Exactly. Because then they know all the time. That happened to me the other day. I was I don't want to say the story because it's with illicit drugs. Okay. So we're not gonna talk about it. But the point is, I had a reply to the honeys, and she's like, hey, like you just disappeared. But she knew. She's like, oh, I know you're not doing anything wrong. You're probably just chiefing it up. Yeah. And I was, but that's because I over communicate. Yeah. So that's why I always think about it. As long as you over communicate of who you are and everything that you're going through, there's no doubt of what you're thinking when you're not talking or when you're not here. Facts. And I think make that a clip. Yeah. All of that. Figure it out. I think the big part is, especially for us men who are comfortable with talking how they feel and being vulnerable, talking about depression, anxiety, you have to find somebody who will listen to you, who will appreciate that honesty and that vulnerability, because there are some women that say, well, man, I don't want a man who cries or who's vulnerable, shows me how they really feel. There is that side of people. And my biggest advice to any single guy or anybody who even is in a relationship, if you can't talk to your partner, your girlfriend, your wife, your spouse about how you feel and that you're sad and that you're depressed and that you're scared, if you can't have that dialogue with them, then that is not the right person. Yeah. Why are you with them? Well, 100%. Like
they should be opposite way. My girlfriend gets angry if I don't tell her how I'm feeling.
Tell me how you feel.
She's like, what's wrong? Yeah. I'm like, no, what's wrong? Good. Like she wants me to push it out because there's times where I don't want to, where I'm like, I don't want to be vulnerable. True. It's good. It's good though to talk about it. You just have to overcome that whole the ego part. Yeah, it comes because the thing is we know that what she wants is what's best for you. Yeah. She also has to understand that when you're comfortable to open up to her, she has to give you that boundary. Yeah. But it's also if you're just choosing not to because you don't want to be vulnerable, it's like, well, maybe this is the time to actually say something.
Yeah, because I think the problem with a lot of people, or especially some women having like, oh, I don't want a guy who's feminine or who's, you know, who cries. Like, I want a man who's manly. But then that's just all you're saying is that you're associating having feelings and stuff like that with being a woman. No, you're human. You're another human being who has feelings. True. You know what I'm saying? So I know we have to wrap it up, but I just wanted to kind of piggyback off of that, because you have to be with somebody who understands that it's okay to cry and be sad and be vulnerable and be emotional.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree. So when it comes to one last time, your the whole group conference, I know you have a date, the time. Say it one more time and what your mission is. And can anyone go? Is it more for men? Can women go too, or is this
it's gonna be, this one is gonna be just for men.
Just for men.
And ladies, if you're watching this, force your man to go. For real, it's gonna be a good time. You're gonna meet a lot of cool dudes. You know, it's just a group of people just communicating. We're gonna have Christine Navarro talk. Actually, I have a meeting with her today after this, so we're gonna game plan some things that we're gonna do for it.
Sweet.
Yeah, let us know, especially as we get closer to it. I mean, we would like to get involved. I know you have to figure out with work, but we'd like to probably go
December 28th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And it's a beautiful place.
Where what's it called again?
Vignettes.
All right.
Yeah, so we'll put all the details.
We'll put that detail as well, and everyone else that we shouted out.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else?
No, I mean, we were going for a minute, but you know, I appreciate you coming on, being honest, being vulnerable. It was a refreshing conversation, and grateful for having you on.
Grateful for you guys, bro. I love being able to have the platform. I know I have a platform in fighting, but being able to have a platform and reach out and do other things like this because of fighting is an amazing thing.
It ties into what you said a little bit earlier, like, oh well, I'm a fighter. 92% of the statistics say that it's mostly men following me, but it's like you have the platform with your goal to literally accomplish that. You want to target men because they don't want to talk. 92%, you know, based off the analytics. Okay, what better person, you know, to kind of have that kind of conversation. And if we can contribute at all, I mean, we're super huge, you know, advocates on therapy, mental health, and all that stuff. And I feel like this could work well. So I mean, if we can help in any way possible, I mean, we'll figure it out on the
of course.
But dude, it was awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on. Yeah. So yeah, with that being said, it is time to break up. Sorry, Gus. It's over. Before we go, please, if you made it this far, like the video, subscribe, ring the notification bell. We're on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter, coffeebreakup.com. Gus, any handle shout outs? Do them all right now.
You can follow me at Gus Villamil. Follow my photo booth business at Flicks and Pics. And also my girlfriend's food blog, Comiendo con Casi.
Put everything.
Yeah,
that'll
get me some brownie points.
Alex, it will be. Also, we like to wrap it up with the final thought. So before we sign off completely, what is one thing you like to say to your younger self, or maybe like a big impactful message? For example, the one on your background is one. If you even want to use that one, by all means. We like to end it with the final thoughts of pretty much something you like to tell your younger self.
100%. I actually wrote it down because I love this saying is you can't be who you're becoming and who you used to be at the same time.
I heard that somewhere else. Where did you get that
from? A service at Vu.
Oh, I like that. Good for you. Awesome.
What does that mean?
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, what does that mean to you?
So there's so many different meanings, but
to you.
Some things you lose is better than you gain.
Sometimes even a loss is a win.
It's a gain, yeah.
Exactly, and that's exactly how I see my loss.
Because you're always gaining something, an experience, a lesson.
Exactly.
You know, some extra momentum.
Exactly.
I love it.
Gus, thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you on.
Gus, you're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Have a good one, guys. Ciao.
Peace.